Okay, so today's session, um, a couple of things. One is the psychological impact, and then the impact that you have in terms of your body and your health and your well-being when you have been let down, when you have been betrayed, because that seems to be the energy that's around. And it's important to know that that can trigger certain things. And how do we regulate ourselves? The other thing is, which is perhaps where I want to start off with, is experiences during meditation and the impact of meditation on your sensitivity. So how does this work? Well, if you think about it this way, so let's imagine you've got a job to do and you're on a deadline. So there is a level of stress on you. Now, because you're on a deadline, you will ignore everything else. People can go around you, people can wave at you, talk to you, but you will completely ignore it. Why? Because you're consumed by a particular task. So we become ignorant about things around us. The second thing is that as we become, so as in our experience in meditation, as you begin to become a little bit more aware, mind becomes a little bit less chatty or you're less engaged in it, you begin to hear the birds. They were always there. We never heard them. Or you will notice a butterfly, or you will notice things that were always there, but all of a sudden it's taken a sort of a newness to it. Well, that newness is the indication that you have been asleep, and we're all asleep. This word Maya, that comes from the Indic worldview, means consensual hypnosis. You're hypnotized. And we're hypnotized with the same thing. If we keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again, you can't think outside it. You just can't, because it becomes the dominant truth. So now we are realizing that those lies that were repeated again and again and again and again, and people took them for their truth, have now become the trigger for their distress. Yeah. So going back to these experiences. So when we begin to do our meditation, there is a feeling that we've become more sensitized. We've become more sensitive, less sensitized, more sensitive. And this, as I've illustrated, we can see in different ways. But then we also begin to detect, and what we'll call is presence. Presence. So if you are standing, if you're in a room with your eyes closed and you're standing there and someone enters the room, you will know their presence. Don't need to see them, but you will know the presence. Why? Because your senses are shut. So your senses are wider now. Your sensitivity is wider. The same thing happens with meditation. The same thing happens with meditation. So let me give you an example. So a particular individual, um, week 6, this happened with her, I think it was. Or was it afterwards? Anyway, so she'd been doing this 8-week course with me. I think it's during the course, we did like a quick check-in, 30-second, no, sorry, 3-minute meditation. Did that. She went into that space, came back out, and normally I would ask the question, what was that like for you? And it's important for me to know that, and it's important for you to know what it was like for you. So if your mind was bouncing or anything like that, so we can find strategies to work with it. And she said, yeah, the meditation was fine. I said, anything else you want to say? She said, yeah, there's a woman that's looking at me and she ain't going to go away. I said, what do you mean? She said, there's a woman that's looking at me and she's not going away now. And I thought, well, maybe it's like your grandmother or something. She goes, no, it's an English woman. So the lady I was working with was Asian. She says, it's an English woman, this kind of hair, da da da. This is the way it's been, uh, she's dressed. And the question was, what's going on? Where are you? Where are you? And there was something going on with the house where a particular individual lived. And the moment she said, don't worry, I'll look after the house, she disappeared. She disappeared. Real presence, professional woman, saw it, guidance how to deal with it. asked, what do you want? What do you want? And these presences, and why is this important? Look, when you're asleep, do you go away? No. You're not conscious, but you haven't gone anywhere. Your consciousness cannot leave. It's always there. It will take a fall. Every so often it takes a fall. And then it melts and it takes another fall. Like an ocean that has waves in it over and over again. Grandmothers, fathers, ancestors, all of that stuff. The whole thing is still going. There are those that are in different realities. Because this reality see, this three-dimensional reality that we see in front of us, isn't the only reality. It's a spectrum. And there are other things that exist within the spectrum. As we are starting to now learn, this is how we are educating that we too are phenomenal. We haven't quite learned that yet, but we're learning that. We're moving towards that. So when we begin to have these meditation experiences, so these are called altered states of consciousness. That those are the ones that you do a bit of meditation and you kind of go into that space and you remain in that space for a while. And there are others which are meditation states of consciousness. So that's only during your meditation, there's something that changes within you. Like the way you perceive things, the way you see yourself, however, but there's a change in your consciousness. That change in your consciousness is like adjusting a radio frequency. And that radio frequency may introduce you to other channels, which could be mushroom realities, which could be all sorts of different realities that people see, very much like they would take ayahuasca or they would take any of those medicine plants, and you go through a series of visions which have similarity. And the reason they have similarities is because those are the realities that you enter. Consciousness is infinite. Infinite. And as we change our awareness, our consciousness, and how do we change it? We begin to regulate ourselves. We don't get involved in the drama too much. We see ourselves getting in the drama and we pull ourselves out. So now there were a few people I heard and felt sorry for them who'd lost their parents, their grandparents. They were unable to attend the funerals or support their loved ones, or partners, or situations in which they were significantly distressed and traumatized. Why? Because some rules were in place. And now they discover, but actually it only applied to you, didn't apply to any other people, though they had privilege. This, and they actually imposed it upon you. If you were self-imposed, it's one thing. That was imposed on you. Now you can understand how someone would feel today knowing that these are just deliberate lies over and over again. So it triggers that old trauma, and that trauma will bring a number of things. So we are going through, and you'll notice it around yourselves. So you go through a level of denial first, and we're in that space at the moment. Like, what? Yeah, in that denial space. It hasn't quite hit us. Hasn't quite hit the tsunami of awareness, hasn't quite hit the road, because it's monumental in terms of changing of the institutes. It's monumental. Then you realize all those who support it are also complicit. Then you realize, hold on a second, all the media, they're complicit. How long have I been lied to? That's when the whole situation begins. And we're in that space now. As these little drops begin to drop, our awareness opens up. And we begin to realize, hold on a second, something isn't right. Don't need to blame anyone. There's no violence, nothing. Need to first realize you have been asleep in order for you to be motivated to wake up. Otherwise, you won't. If you accept, no, I'm not hypnotized, you'll never get out of it. So you have to first realize there's a possibility. There's a possibility I'm asleep. And that awakening wakes you up to the corruption. Yep, it is what it is. You can't solve it. Yeah, that's just the way nature of life. That's the way the ego operates, self-serving. Yeah, you exploit others for your own benefit. That's just the way the parasites work. You can't change them. You can reduce them, you can monitor them like you do with any pest, but we haven't been able to do that, right? So there's no accountability, which is why people do what they do. So once the accountability comes in, which it will, this becomes a little bit more manageable. And this is where we begin to recognize through our cultivated practice, one, only you are responsible for your health. Two, once you begin to awaken to yourself and awareness and come out of some of those mental spaces that you get consumed into, you will realize there's so much more to you as a human being. Whether it's to do with health, whether it's to do with life, whether it's to do with just the way um, where you can express yourself. Life takes a new meaning. But in order to get there, we have to first realize there's a possibility I'm asleep. There's a possibility that maybe the religions are part of it. Maybe even the systems are part, and you begin to see the system of control. And as I said to you last week, that the realization, the human paradigm, the paradigm of what you used to believe and think life was about and what it's becoming is 100, like 180-degree turn. It's a revelation. So soon enough, as more and more of this off-life stuff becomes more and more apparent, you will find that every one of us kind of transitions into a space of saying, yeah, it's possible, there is different kinds of life, this happens, this has happened, but it also redefines you as a human being. That's a space we're in. So, takeaway from today, number one, your meditation will increase your sensitivity. Your sensitivity will allow you to see things, perceive things other than the way you have now. And the second thing is that when these betrayals and these other exposures come through and they trigger, one, watch your triggering. Once you notice your triggering, regulate yourself. Things need to be express, but regulate yourself. And you can only do that if you first become aware that, you know what, I'm being dragged down this particular route. I'm being dragged because the more you hear this stuff, the angrier you will become. So it's important, a little bit of immunity. You know where the score is. I don't need to hear about your crimes over and over again. I know what you're about and deal with it. No? Okay, shall we begin with our meditation? If that's all right. So, as I said earlier, meditation will allow you to perceive experiences which cannot be described in its adequately. And the experience are not just visions and visual, but the experience can also be a felt thing. It's a feeling that comes out of it. So the way to map your meditation, I'll share this with you, is to notice what is present and what is absent, right? Look, unless I tell you to look for something, you won't look for it, right? So I ask you, as we're going to do our body scan, I'll say, bring your focus to your knees for argument's sake. And the moment you do that, you begin to sense something, yeah? Or your feet, or your hands, or your chair, whatever it is. But I have to instruct you to what to look for. True? And the moment you look for it, awareness goes there, it's there, you find something. Meditation and those states of conscious are the same. Unless I ask you what to look for, you won't see it. So when I ask you towards the end of the meditation, what's your experience? It's an inquiry. It's to see, all right, what is my experience? What is my experience? What's present there? And then there will be words that I will introduce, and if they're present for you, acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. You begin to learn the territory. You learn the territory within yourself. And there are different kind of stages to it, which we can elaborate later on sometime. Okay, let's begin. So as usual, Get yourself into a nice posture. And we deliberately adjust our back. We pull it up somewhat. You can pull your chin in slightly so your neck is stretched at the back. Pull your shoulders back so the chest feels open, making sure that your shoulders are not hunched. Okay? So very deliberately looking at our body. And as you breathe in, with your eyes closed, your mouth closed ideally, as you breathe in, you bring your focus to yourself as best as you can. And as you bring this focus to yourself, begin to notice what's going on with you. So we'll begin with the physical space first. So physically, you want to scan your body from the top of your head, gently moving down, and just looking for anything that's dominant. And if there is anything dominant, notice its location. And now we're going to do a quick internal checking. So bring your focus within yourself and see if you can make a judgment on how you're feeling right now. If there is a label you can identify with how you're feeling. And where your thoughts are. Where your thoughts are. Anything that's dominant within your mind. And you don't want to change anything, simply watch, simply becoming aware. Okay. And now we're going to take a little bit closer look at ourselves. So we bring our focus now to the chair that we're on or the seat, and we notice the sensations that are present in our body. Okay. Just get a feel of that. And then as you sense those sensations, using those sensations as an anchor, as you breathe in, you bring your focus up towards your hips. Okay? So now you have awareness of your hips. Next breath out. Allow your awareness to gently flow down your thighs towards your knees. Remember, you're scanning your body for sensations. It's not trying to define its form or think about it, but just sense it. What's going on? All the way to your knees. Normally, the sensations that are dominant are pains, aches, itch, tightness. So if there isn't any of that, there is nothing that will distract your focus. And then bring your focus down from your knees, gently down towards your. From your ankles, you move your focus towards your feet. And then gently moving to the soles of your feet. Now try and hold your focus at the soles of your feet as best as you can. And if you're distracted by a sound or a voice or a thought, bring your focus back to the soles of your feet. Next breath in, bring your focus back to the seat you're on. And this time, bring your focus to the fact that you're supported and you're held in place. Notice that you're held. You can afford to allow your body to soften, and you notice that your back is straight and upright. Okay, next breath in, we're going to bring our focus up from our lower back to our middle back. From your middle back, you bring this focus up towards your shoulder blades. And notice your shoulders. See if you can soften them a little bit. And then from your shoulders, you gently move this focus down towards your elbows, scanning the tops of your arms. Remember, you're scanning your body for sensations. And then moving down, looking. As you move your focus from your elbows to your wrists, searching for any sensations that are dominant. Notice the palms of your hands. And the fingers on your hands. Next breath in, you're bringing your focus now towards your eyes. And you're going to scan around your eyes. Start with the top of your eyes, moving towards the left, beneath your eyes, towards the right of your eyes. And then see if you can take your focus a little bit further within yourself, behind your eyes. And then recognizing the awareness itself. That right this moment, there is awareness of darkness. There's even awareness of your body. And as you breathe out, you allow your eyes to soften, bringing your focus towards your mouth. Notice your lips. Bringing your focus within your mouth. Notice the sensations on the roof of your mouth. Within your mouth. And then noticing the tongue. Allow it to soften. Scanning it from the back all the way slowly right to the very front, tip of the tongue. And then allow your jaw to soften. Very deliberate attempt at allowing the body to find a relaxed space. And then as you breathe out, allow your face to soften. Next breath in, bringing your focus now to yourself as best as you can. Once again, try and notice if there's anything dominant that drags your awareness. Next breath in, you bring your focus within yourself. And by this, we mean your inner climate, how you're feeling, and what your thought process is, your mental space is. So, first, we begin with the mental space. Do you feel alert or do you feel drowsy? Is there clarity or do you feel foggy? Are you able to focus or are you distracted? And then bringing your focus to your chest. And all we're doing at this stage is simply watching the movement of the chest in rhythm with the breath. Breath comes in, chest expands, and as the chest relaxes, the breath moves out. Holding your focus at your chest. Holding your focus at your chest. And then we're going to move our focus a bit deeper into ourselves, right into your very being, your very center. And you're going to hold your focus there as best as you can. And begin to gather, notice how you're feeling at this moment. Is this moment enough for you? Or is there something missing? Does this moment feel peaceful, settled, or does this feel unsettled, agitated? What's your experience? The feeling. Next breath out, opening your awareness to all the sounds around you. No judgment, no seeking, no looking, no commentary, just listening. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose and begin to watch your breath. Notice the in breath coming in, notice the out breath going out. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. Breathing out, you know you're breathing out. If you find your focus has been distracted by my voice or a thought or a sensation, notice the distraction, come back to your breath. Allowing your breath to breathe by itself. Noticing the in breath has a start and an end, the out breath has a start and an end. Breathing in, you have a start and an end. Breathing out, you have a start and an end. And to allow us to get a bit deeper into the moment, begin to follow your out breath all the way till the end. And as you do so, allow your body to soften, relaxing a little bit further. Allowing each out breath to drag you deeper and deeper into the moment of now. Alert yet relaxed. Notice where your breath ends. Notice exactly when the out breath finishes. See if you can notice that little gap before the in breath begins. Notice how you're breathing now. Does the breath seem lighter or does it seem heavier? Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel long? Does it feel short? If it's long, no need to make it short. If it's short, no need to make it long. Things are the way they are. Does your breath have a sound? Listening to the in breath as it comes in, listening to the out breath as it goes out. As intently as you can. Next breath out. Once again, you open your awareness to all the sounds around you, including the sound of your breath. Listening. Listening without commentary, listening without judgment, simply listening. And allow the bell to accompany you into the silence. If this moment feels peaceful, focus on the peace, bringing your focus to your experience. If it feels silent, focus on the silence. Gently bringing your focus just beneath your nose, sitting with your breath in silence. Next breath out, expanding your awareness to include your whole body as best as you can. And just take a little snapshot. How does the body feel? Is there any sensations that are dominant, that draw your attention? Bringing your focus to the chair that you're on, the seat you're on. Notice the sensations where your body makes contact. From those sensations, moving your focus up towards your hips, drifting down your thighs towards your knees. From your knees, you move down towards your ankles. Notice your feet. And then noticing the soles of your feet as best as you can. Bringing your focus back to the chair, the seat. Notice you're still in the same place you began. Back is straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands are comfortable and relaxed. Your eyes are still closed, your mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed. Bringing your focus back to your breath. And now, as the breath comes in, you sense your body. As the breath goes out, you sense your body. Breathing in, I sense my body. Breathing out, I sense the body. Breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I feel calm. In a few moments, you will hear the sound of another bell. Use this bell to draw a few slow, deep breaths in, and in your own good time, gently opening your eyes. Take your time.